What's up, guys? We're back with more drone content. So today we came to Pigeon Point, as you can see. Also very picturesque, beautiful. And today we flew in orbit with the DJI Mini 3. And the purpose of that orbit is to capture 360-degree video of the lighthouse, and then we'll go back using some software later, and we'll render that building in three-dimensional space using the drone video and screenshots from the drone video to construct that same orthomosaic that we did yesterday with the parking lot. So through a little trial and error, we're able to adjust the gimbal position on the drone and capture the entire lighthouse in a single frame. And then we're going to go back and render those still shots in framed images and video into a 3D rendering of the building. And the closer we get and the more shots we take, the higher the detail is, like yesterday with the parking lot. And I don't know if you guys even like this kind of content, but again, like I said yesterday, I like drones, I think the stuff's cool, so this is what I'm doing with my Sunday. And we can also render these in like video games and 3D worlds, and if you're making models, it's also kind of cool because if, God forbid, something were to happen to these lighthouses or some of these buildings, we can always go back and we can use them as a point of reference for what these things look like. So in the future, people will be able to go back and maybe a building will be gone, but there's an orthomosaic somebody did with a drone. We'll be able to go back and look what that building actually looked like. So if you were to ever reconstruct it or just learn about it in history, we would have not just the video, but we'd actually have a 3D rendering of the actual dimensions and structure of that building. And don't worry, I'll show you guys some pictures of this lighthouse. It is actually tied for the tallest on the West Coast. It's 118 feet tall, and it's very old. It was built in the late 1800s and is still in operation today, although it's not using the original lens, but it is one of few lighthouses that have all of its original glass lens pieces, which you can also see here down in the museum at the bottom. So this is what it looks like after we have rendered this in a 3D world. And as you can see, as we get closer, the detail is not perfect, but that's because this was flown with a $700 drone. We did a 250-foot orbit, and we were at 150 feet. So the detail is just not very high. Now, if we really wanted to detail on this building, we could fly up and down or in a grid pattern, and we could do 360s around this building and capture high resolution images and upload those, and we would get extremely detailed images of the whole structure. But overall, as you can see, it rendered more than just the building. We got some of the coastline and all of the other buildings and some of the equipment on the site, which quite honestly, if you just needed a perception of what this space looked like and you wanted to play with it in a 3D modeling tool or some other CAD tool, this would be a great option.